What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Run Pure Sports Hardwood show for some Friday night NBA action. We got a 9-game slate today, very solid. We got some injury news that's already come through that we'll cover, some that we're waiting on. But the hits keep coming over here at Run Pure Sports. Our boy Mangone. I mean, we like to make fun of Mangone on the show, and we're going to continue to make fun of Mangone. There's no doubt about that. Just an easy target. I mean, just a lot of ammo. When you go at Mangone, there's a lot of ammo, a lot of things you make fun of him about. We got it done last night on FanDuel. I believe it was like a 45, 50K shipper over there on FanDuel. So congratulations to him. His lineup had a lot of flexibility. He was able to get on all those Bucks guys when DJ Augustine was ruled out. So congratulations to our boy Mangone. Big win last night. And it just seems like it's every night over in the Run Pure Sports streets where we're getting these big wins. We're going to keep it rolling tonight. We had to bring on the big dog, AP, to bring this thing full circle this week. AP, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. I'm excited. I'm going to try to commit to every Friday, so it's going to be a ton of fun. JSU, love having him on here, but going back to back is just brutal, and it's tough to finish out your own builds and everything. And so, and he just crushes the Up to Lock show. I mean, if you're not a member and if you're not watching that show, you gotta be. I mean, it's a staple in my process, and But thanks for having me on, guys. I'm excited to find the winners with you.
Yeah, we got a lot of winners to discuss because, like I said, it's a full slate. There's some really, really good plays on the slate, so we'll break it all down. Big T, as always, here with us. Mangone got that big win last night. I mean, you slayed him in that head-to-head. Is there going to be? You said yesterday he had to work his way back up. I mean, now that he got this win, he might be able to climb some levels and get on that big T level. Is it possible that we see a rematch soon?
No, I mean, he needs now that Title's down there in the minor leagues with Mangone, he might have to go through Title now. Maybe they got to play a head-to-head to get back up to the big leagues. But yeah, I mean, that was a crazy sweat at the end of that too, where he was going against Zion, and I think he had Giannis and the other guy didn't or something right there. And Zion got a steal, but then he got a charge, and then Giannis got fouled, and Giannis made a free throw, and he kept cycling. It was just one of those classic sweats at the end where it just kept going back and forth. And it was fun. He's been close a few nights too. I like to see Mangone dabble a little bit. I know it was his cash team, but it still was somewhat of a tournament. I mean, the one guard was 4% owned or something. That's not
it was it was Raul Neto. I ended up having to do the same thing too, because if you had DJ Augustine, which he did, and which I had, you had no other choice but to
Is
play.
That how you got to it?
Yeah,
I wondered about
that. Yeah, I ended up having to play him too. There's literally no other point guards to play unless you.
So it ended up just being fluky how it happened. Not fluky, but that's how. Because I wondered. I was like, man, what did Mangone know to get on that? I was blown away.
Yeah, I ended up having to play Neto too. So if you had a point guard spot available, the only guy under Augustine or at the same price tag was Raul Neto, which he ended up going for 40. So it worked out quite well. But
it wasn't even a 2v2. It was just a classic 1v1. Just get a dude in there that has a pulse.
Yes.
And it makes it even better, though. Those are the most satisfying nights, honestly, when you have to pull that pivot and then they just go off for you and you just get to ship it in. I love that.
Worked out well for him. So, congratulations to our boy Mangone. If you are not a member yet at Run Pure Sports, we still have that promo going, Workbench 21. Gives you a chance to sample out the site for a nice low price. I mean, if you want to try the weekly package, that Workbench 21 code will get you 25% off, which will bring the weekly down to $15. You can try it out for a week. If you don't like it, you can move on, but we really do think you're going to like it. That price at our website, which I talk about all the time, and I don't mean to beat a dead horse here, but it includes absolutely everything on our site. We're not going to charge you for when baseball comes around. We're not going to charge you extra for NFL next season. We're not going to charge you extra for NASCAR, MMA. It's all one price, gets you everything on the site. We think it's a very fair price, and honestly, it's one of the cheapest prices, probably the cheapest price in the industry in terms of getting content. And we think we have the best team out there. Actually, I don't think we do. I know we do. We definitely have the best team out there. We're playing these plays on a nightly basis. So head on over to Run Pure Sports, Workbench 21, 25% off your first payment. Got 9 games. Anything else before we hop in, boys?
That's it.
All right, let's hit it. Let's hit it. First game right out of the gate. We have the Rockets. We have the Raptors. 220 total in this game. Raptors favored by 8. And, the one thing that does stand out on the slate, all but 2 games go off within the first half hour. So you got 7:30 Eastern games. We have two of those, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 8 p.m. Eastern games. So we should have a majority of the news when this slate locks. We've already gotten some. There'll be a little bit more, obviously, that trickles in. But right out of the gate, we always try to talk about, waiting for the news or avoiding these first games. They're all going basically right at the same time, right out of the gate. So I don't think that really comes into play today. In regards to this Rockets-Raptors game, not my favorite on the slate, to be honest. We're not really waiting on any news, I don't think, in this one. Everything's kind of out there for the most part. Just pulling this up. Yeah, I mean, there's really no major news that we're waiting on in this game. On the Rockets side, it sounds like Oladipo is going to play today. The guy that's out, Christian Wood, PJ Tucker has been absolutely awful. The price tag still remains very low. The floor is just so low. Don't play PJ Tucker. I know BigT, you've been on Daniel House a little bit. He's been pretty consistent, pretty steady. The minutes are certainly there. On the Raptor side, nice low price tag for Kyle Lowry. I mean, Lowry's coming in at just 7K on DK, pretty similarly priced on FanDuel as well. OG is kind of, established his role coming back from the injury. He's back to playing heavy minutes, 30 minutes, 29 minutes, 35 minutes. I think more of a FanDuel play versus a DK play. The price tag on FanDuel, it's 5-4, but you have to play those 2 small forwards, less flexibility over there. So I think he's more in play over there. Big T, I'll go to you first. Any interest in your boy House or anyone else here in this game?
I mean, House is one of these guys that I don't understand why people don't. This is a perfect example, actually, of a guy that never projects good. So none of the projection people play him ever. Like even Title the other day when I whooped his ass in the head-to-head, made some comment about how House did this or that. Like the dude's playing a ton of minutes and he keeps crushing. I just don't understand the projection, really. I mean, he's playing in the mid-30s minutes-wise when he's healthy and everything kind of goes normal, which you can't help blowouts and different things when you're on a bad team. If it happens, it happens. But in a normal game flow, the dude's going to play mid-30s minutes, and he's 4,500 on FanDuel at a small forward position that a lot of times is bad. I literally don't get it. I'm going to keep playing House, and I'm going to keep taking my chances. And I like him. And the rest of Houston, though, everybody's priced pretty correctly. I mean, John Wall's up. Oladipo is kind of in that range where he could be in play, but he's priced decent. Gordon's expensive. Tate's expensive. It's just House that feels mispriced to me. And then on the Toronto side, we got the same thing we always got. These guys are going to play a ton of minutes if this game stays close. And the guy that keeps killing teams Houston keeps getting killed by guys like Pascal. Pascal's really bad against – he's like the Giannis, the Ben Simmons. If you can body him up, he's not gonna do anything. But against teams with all little guys like Houston, he's going to eat. And tonight is no different, where he's under 8K on both sites, I think. He's definitely under it. He might be over it on FanDuel. What is he on FanDuel? 8,800. So he's more expensive on FanDuel. But either way, I think he's in a major blow-up spot. And you always have to have interest in these Toronto guys. If it stays close, Kyle Lowry's cheap. They're just going to crush with these minutes. So I like this game probably more than the field will.
Yeah. Before I throw it to AP, guys, make sure that you hit that like button, hit the subscribe. You know the goal. We talk about it on the show, or I talk about it every time. I want to get to the point where I don't even have to ask or plead or beg for these likes. You guys know just to come in here and hit it. That's the goal. We're getting better. I mean, there's about 600 watching. We got about 170 after this second game. I'm going to throw it to my boy Big. We already got the number. The number is what? Yeah. 450, right? The number's we don't have to throw it.
400 last week. 450 this week. We've hit the target every single day. There's no way that Friday is going to be the only day we miss either. So we're definitely hitting the 450 on a Friday to go into the weekend.
Yeah, so the number is 450. Just get there. I'm not going to beg. I'm not going to ask. Later on in the show, we'll circle back and make sure. And that's how you're going to get the apparel. That's how you're going to get the plays of the day. And as I just put in the chat, we need a name. I mean, we need a name for the AP play of the day. So get creative. Give us something good. And yeah, I know you guys will come up with something good. The one day was good when you had to. Yeah, I think you're supposed to take the one of the kids to swim class, and you said, screw it, I'm not taking them to swim class. I'm just I'm here doing the show." So that was
on Saturday they tried to call it the Bush Muncher play of the day, and that is absolutely wrong. There's absolutely no way I'm munching on any bush. So we got to get that out of the way right away.
If that's the case, he's coming equipped with his Manscaped 3.0.
You guys get yours? Did it arrive yet?
Yes, it has arrived.
Oh, baby.
Has arrived. Yes. So I like the shirt too. You got the shirt. We got the boxers. I'm excited.
Have you tried them on yet? Maybe we should maybe do a little sampler.
If we get there, if we get way over the 450, you never know. We might drop the drawers here for the people. All right, AP, who do you got here? What do you got for us here in this Rockets Raptors game here?
Yeah, man. So, Big T kind of nailed it. The Raptors side is always attractive just because they play so many minutes. I love Pascal Siakam. He just, against a small ball team, he is going to absolutely smash. And he's priced very nicely on DraftKings. He's going to be right there in the paint in the 5 against PJ Tucker and Jason Tate. They have absolutely no one that can stop him. So I feel most confident with him. Kyle Lowry's fine. Gosh, that $7K price tag feels kind of trappy. Like the only thing I feel good about is he's going to get the minutes unless he gets hurt or something like that. The Rockets side, I don't think I can touch. John Wall's priced up. I think we have better plays on the slate. Oladipo, his price is fine, but the rotations are kind of a mess on the Rockets side too. Like I think they're going to try to stagger John Wall and Victor Oladipo's minutes so that at least one of them is on the court at all times. But still, like neither of them are getting heavy minutes. So for me, the Rockets side is an easy fade. I do like the house call on FanDuel. I don't think I can get there on DraftKings. I'm never playing PJ Tucker. Jason Tate, like he should be cheaper in my opinion than I'd play him, but 5'9", I think is an easy fade. So for me, it's pretty easy. You play Pascal Siakam, maybe Kyle Lowry. Outside of those two guys, I think we have many other better options on the slate.
I agree with you. Let's hop into the next game. The Pacers Celtics 219 total. Boston favored by 2.5. And we have two teams that are pretty much at full strength. There's no injuries here, no one resting. When you take that into consideration, I don't have a ton of interest in this game. I mean, if you want the core pieces here, you got to pay a premium. I mean, Brogdon's 8-1. Sabonis is still up there on DK at 10-4. On the Celtics side, Kemba Walker, his price tag's fair. I don't mind that 6-2 on DK, but then for Jaylen Brown, it's 8-6. For Tatum, it's 9-3. I'd rather spend elsewhere. So really, for me, the only thing I'm really looking at is potentially Kemba Walker at 6.2K on DK, and that's more of like a last man in type thing. I am not going to build my teams around him. If he fits, I come to my last spot and Kemba fits in there, I'm fine with it. I'm not going to switch things around. This game is shaping up to be a fade for me, so I'm going to be off this one. AP, do you have any interest here in this Pacers Celtics game?
Well, we both just spent some time talking about Pascal Siakam, and now he's out.
Yeah, let's circle back and touch on that real quick, because that's actually slate changing news. Good.
He was
good
like
timing.
my favorite play too. I loved him, man.
Yeah,
that
Chris
sucked.
Boucher now. You got. I mean, what are they going to do with the bigs?
Has to be. I mean, Boucher has to be the one that gets the massive boost, right? Because they kind of moved on from Bane starting. What do you think happens, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Baines gets it. Man, the problem is Boucher isn't like Pascal, though. He's like a softy, a big softy, and I don't know if he gets really the big boost that Pascal was going to get. The one thing I know for sure it's going to do is solidify those guards as being the big usage guys on the team, and it makes them a lot better plays. I never play OG, but it makes OG a lot better play too, where he's cheap. I mean, he was injured so long that he's cheap. His price hasn't really moved up, and I'd have to say he gets the biggest boost. Even Norm Powell. I mean, the Toronto guys. I know it's redundant because the only bad part about doing these shows 5 days a week is I feel like I say the same stuff and it sometimes gets in my head. But these Toronto guys are going to play 40 minutes if the game stays close. And if they play 40 minutes against Houston, what's going to happen? They're going to totally crush. Like, there's no freaking way around it. The only way they don't crush is a blowout. And those 4 guys, Lowry, Van Vliet, OG, and Powell, are going to play 40 minutes. I don't know who the 5th guy will be. They could mix and match. Yeah. Probably Boucher. Most of it, I'm sure, gets the biggest boost. But those 4 guys become very, very good plays. Like, I don't see a way around it.
Yeah. AP, anything to add to that? I thought it was a pretty good breakdown there by Big T.
Yeah, I agree. I think Anunoby is a really good play now. He's got upside too. Look what he did against the Pacers. He put up a 50-piece against them not too long ago. I mean, the guy has upside, and he's one of the guys that could definitely go overlooked just because we're so used to clicking, Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry, Norm Powell. I think they're all in play. What's interesting is what are they going to do with Chris Boucher? I think he's the guy that's going to end up being much, a lot more popular, especially if he were to get the start. It's going to be interesting, though. We need starting lineups, obviously, but – man, he could here's what's going to happen. He's either going to crush or he's going to absolutely suck. If they go small ball and if it's just not a good fit for Boucher, they could yank him and they could, counter with a small ball lineup too. I just who would they put in there though? Like Bembry? I don't know. I feel like one of these big guys has to get some minutes.
Yeah. The thing is though, Houston's got no bigs. This game easily could just go small. There's no bigs.
So they're going to go Terrence Davis. I mean,
literally just they love Bembry. It almost has to be Bembry.
Yeah.
Bembry and Boucher.
I don't think they'll start Bembry though. I mean, Bembry could be the one that ends up getting all the minutes. They're going to start probably Boucher or Aaron Baines. If Boucher starts, he's going to turn into probably one of the most popular guys on the slate. He's 6'5" on FanDuel. He's only 5'6" on DK. Yeah, I mean, if they announce him as a starter, he'll be the most popular dude on the slate.
I hope so too, because honestly, I like him the least of the 5. I just don't. I don't know. He doesn't have usage. He needs blocks and stuff to get there. And
God, he could get so many blocks in this matchup though. If
he could for sure. He's in there, but yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely.
The Toronto is great plays. There's no way around it.
Well, and the other thing about this game is Toronto's without all their coaches. Nurse is out, and then I think 5 assistants or helper or whoever the hell it is, they're all out too. So it's an interesting dynamic in this game for sure. But the starters here will be pretty important. Obviously, we'll get it first game this late.
Another question too. So this is where we don't talk about the bedside a ton, but. I don't see how you don't go in here and bet Houston at +8. Houston is getting healthy. A lot of their guys are back. They're catching 8 from a Toronto team where the game's going to go small and both teams are going to score. Toronto isn't going to blow them out. Houston might win this game.
I don't know. Toronto's a team sometimes they get better with when guys are out. When Lowry's out, they're I don't know what the record was, but they only lost twice in the last 2 seasons when Lowry's out. They're a team that kind of scares me, but I do see what you're saying.
I mean, 8's a lot of points though.
Yeah, could come down.
I definitely like Houston a lot +8.
Yeah. All right. AP,
Pascal's a bigger piece for them anyways than Lowry. Lowry's just they can slide another guard in there.
True. Yeah, they're definitely more stacked at the guard position opposed to forwards or centers. So I do agree with you there. It'll be interesting to see. AP, anything for you in that Pacers Celtics game?
It's kind of just Brogdon, he feels overpriced. Sabonis feels overpriced. It's probably just Kimba for me, and I don't love it either. He's, he has to hit shots. He's not getting peripheral stats. So if he's not hitting his shots, I mean, his floor is a lot lower than what we think. So I'm showing a 25% ownership projection on him. What I might do is lower his projection when I'm running kind of my builds, just so that he misses a lot of my builds, because I think we have a lot of very, nice guard spots. I don't now. I'd much rather, why not pay 800 more for Kyle Lowry? Much better play. He's able to pick up peripheral stats at a much higher rate. Kimba's fine. I'm not going to, anyone could put him in there. That's no big deal. I think he's probably a better fade in this game in general. Is probably one that I'm going to fade.
Yeah, I love that Kyle Lowry price tag now at $7K, and that's a good point. If you're going to go 6.2 for Kemba, I mean, I'd definitely find the 800 and try to get up to Kyle Lowry. Big T, me and AP are kind of on the same page. The studs in this game are pretty damn expensive. You do have to allocate a decent amount of salary to get those guys. Any interest in the studs in this game or any value plays that stand out?
I was firing this Houston wager.
Someone in the chat said it dropped to 5. Is that
it hasn't moved. I just got it in my book, but it's definitely gonna move.
Yeah.
There's no way they just can't hang 8 on that without Pascal. They just can't do it. So you can bet it quick. But you were talking about the Indiana game, right?
Yeah, Indiana, Boston.
Yeah. So one sneaky guy in this game that I got highlighted to talk about is a guy that I never like, which should always alarm people that it might be a good play. Because when I play a guy that I hate, it usually is for a reason. But Tristan Thompson has looked really good. Indiana against bigs like him that pound him on the glass. And Tristan Thompson quietly 28, 31, 25, 33, 5 straight big games where he would have crushed his price tag. He's a center. We never want to burn a center, but he's crushed, and the matchup is perfect against Indiana. So I think he is a under 1%, 2% type play that
below.
I like him. I like the low ownership. Kemba's a guy I never play. We keep saying it about Boston, but something's freaking wrong with this team, and I can't play.
I'll tell you what. I can tell you exactly what it is. It's the guys that freaking Stevens plays. I mean, he rolls out like Grant Williams and the Neesmith guys, all right, but like Grant Williams, Ojale, like those guys aren't going to freaking win you basketball games. Like his rotations are shit. And he's playing these two, like Tyson and Tristan should not be out there playing together. Like it just makes no damn sense. The rotations are garbage.
Yeah, I mean their roster does struggle too when they get down in there they need Marcus Smart back. They need pieces for sure.
What does Grant Williams do for you on the freaking basketball court? Like what the hell does Grant Williams, how is he in the NBA?
I mean, look at their roster though. Who do you want him to play?
I mean, play some of these other dudes. Play Edwards. Play freaking Neesmith. Play Pritchard. Like, get those guys. I mean, Ojale and Grant Williams suck.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely are struggling without a doubt. Indiana, I mean, you guys said it best. I mean, I don't know. The prices are fine. I can always play Sabonis and Brogdon. They're like the Toronto guys to me. They play a bunch of minutes. They always have a high floor, high ceiling. But I don't know. I mean, you don't need to do it here by any means.
Yeah. All right, next game, we have the Kings. We have Pistons, 227.5 total. Sacramento, -2.5. And this appears to be one of the spots where we're going to see a lot of ownership. On the Kings side, no Hassan Whiteside tonight. And then about an hour and a half ago, they said Halliburton's not going to play either. And that's a big, big deal because he's been playing a ton of minutes, a ton of usage, playing phenomenally well. I think that brings basically all these Kings guys in the conversation. De'Aaron Fox is going to be popular tonight. 7-7 on DK, 7-8 on FanDuel. I think he's a really, really strong play in this spot. You can also consider Corey Joseph at a cheap price tag. Buddy Hield obviously has been suffering with the emergence of Halliburton, but this is a game where he's going to be able to shoot a ton, and the minutes are going to be very safe. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets back on track. Harrison Barnes is another guy who's going to play a lot of minutes here. Have interest in him. Marvin Bagley is, I think, a very strong play tonight. Really strong first half last night, landed in some foul trouble, really limited his minutes in the second half, and then it turned into a blowout. So basically he didn't play at all in the second half, but looked really good in the first half. Minutes usage should be stabilized here. Rashawn Holmes, I think, in play too. I think all 6 of these guys, all 6 of their main guys are, strongly in the conversation here. On the Pistons side, not as much interest for me. I think, Jeremy Grant is interesting. Kind of have to wait and see on Sadiq Bey whether or not he's in. If he were to sit, you could give Josh Jackson a boost, maybe Saban Lee a boost, and to bring these guys in the conversation a little bit more. But I am very bullish on the Kings side of the ball here. Yeah, a guy like Fox is going to be popular, but outside of that, I don't think there's anything you need to worry about with the ownership all that much. Big T is, is this a spot that you're interested in with the Kings here? No Halliburton, no Whiteside.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be interested in the Kings. We've talked about it all week, but they have a ton of good dudes. So when a few of the guys are out, it just boosts these guys, because the only risk really to me is when they have too many guys and they just play these scrub guys. You look at the roster tonight, though, what do they got? They got Fox, Bagley, Barnes, Buddy, Holmes, Corey Joseph. That's 6. And then you got the scrubs. I mean, Jeffries, Kyle Guy, Justin James might get some minutes. So they're really, really shorthanded against a Detroit team that has been playing good enough to make this a good game and keep it close to where you can see how this game is going to end up very, very chalky, but for good reason. I mean, how are these guys not going to play big minutes? And all of the Kings guys are under 6K. I mean, Buddy is cheap on both sites. Are any of them priced higher on FanDuel?
Peterson Barnes is up there in the 6K range on FanDuel. He's 5.5 on DK, but everyone else is pretty similar.
Holmes is slightly more too. I mean, these guys are great plays, every single one of them. Fox is going to get a bunch of the attention, but honestly, I think all these guys are good plays. I guess I would like Holmes the least, but man, they're in good shape. Even Corey Joseph, they aren't going to play 5 guys. I mean, Corey Joseph's 3,600 on DK. He is 4K on FanDuel. No one's going to play him. I bet he plays 30 minutes. I mean, they love playing guys off the bench. If he plays 30 minutes, he could easily crush against Detroit. They just don't have anyone else. How many minutes has Jeffries been playing? He's played 18 most games. One game he played a ton, but he should play like 18 at a cheap price. And then on top of it, you have Sacramento, who can't guard anybody. Yeah. You got these Detroit guys coming back cheap. Saban Lee has looked really good, played 32, 28, only 22 versus New Orleans, but he had another big game, 28 fantasy points. I don't know how you don't play him tonight, Saban Lee, against these guards. Like, he looks like almost a lock to me. So I'll be interested as far as cash. You can just step in and say what you think about him, because he looks like a lock to me.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously if Bay is out, big boost for him as well. Just phenomenal play as of late for Lee. You look at the production, 30 fantasy points, 34 fantasy points, 28 fantasy points. He's going out there and getting the job done, playing hard, very aggressive. So I agree. I think he's a strong play, and he'd get even a bigger boost if Bay's out.
I mean, these guys, this game is just good. And Mason Plumlee continues to play a bunch of minutes and crush every night. Jeremy Grant has had an incredible season. He's cheaper. He's definitely in play. Basically, all the key guys on both sides of this game are great plays. You just have to decide how they fit into your builds. Josh Jackson, again, I mean, basically they have 3 guards still, just like they've had all week. Saban Lee and Dennis Smith is the point. Josh Jackson is kind of the guy that's going to make the plays. So chat's making fun of me about Saban being a lock again. Well, last time chat made fun of me, he went for 30 and he was 3,200. Hey, so
you don't make
what's his name? Matthew P. Come on, man. Don't play him tonight then.
Ask Titletown and Mangone how that's worked out for them. I mean, hey, listen, Big T says he's a lock. I'm not contesting that shit. Are you kidding me?
I've seen 300 against the Kings, and they got
I've seen what happens. I've seen what happens. I don't want to be the third victim, so I'm regressing. I'm letting him roll with it. I added my thoughts on it, and I'm backing right up.
I don't understand why he wouldn't be a good play though. Like so the guy's a troll. I mean, that makes sense. That the dude, I didn't see any of his other comments. Maybe he's been trolling the whole time. Whatever possible. It is. On FanDuel, he's not a lock because he's 5,400. But on DK at 4,300 against the Kings, go ahead and fade him. Do it.
All right, AP, very appealing game from a fantasy perspective. This Kings-Pistons game, we have the injury news. We have one team that doesn't play much defense. What's your interest level here?
Yeah, I have a ton of interest in this game. I think it's going to be a really nice one to target. So, like the Kings side, they start Marvin Bagley, Rashawn Holmes, but then after about 5 minutes, they stagger them. They're usually not on the court at the same time. They like rolling in their guy Halliburton. I think I agree with Big T. Corey Joseph should be the guy that gets those minutes. And if you look at it from a matchup standpoint, they're not going to put Marvin Bagley on Jeremy Grant. Like that would be stupid. Grant would go absolutely nuts, which I think he still does. I think Harrison Barnes is the better matchup there. So I do think that you're going to see more Corey Joseph tonight. And I think he's going to really go overlooked, and he's 3.6K on DraftKings. So I think that's a nice call. Fox is obviously in play. Buddy Hield, I mean, man, the price tag is pretty nice. He can go off. And then he also can just absolutely bust. And so this game is just all around really nice. I agree with Tony. So last night we played, who was it? It was the three Knicks guards, okay? It was Quickly, Rose, and Burks. And I put them all in. Everyone was tilting Burks to start the night. He had 4 points at halftime, 4 points. What happens? He smashes in the second half. They all
that run
there.
Was insane too.
Yeah,
he had 5 straight threes. He was getting like steals, and that's just why you don't tilt. That's why you don't tilt in the first half.
Oh, it's oh man. But so ever since Tony Big T said, Dennis Smith Jr. and Saban Lee, just lock them both in, I've been doing that, and it's been working. And now we get one of the best matchups that these two are going to have in quite some time. The other thing is, look, the Kings are on a back-to-back too. I think the pace is still going to be fast. I just think that you're going to see some laziness on defense. And they're already super lazy on defense. The Kings play absolutely zero defense. So they're going to make this Pistons team that is not good look good. And I think it's going to be a close game. I think you want a lot of pieces to this game. I think we do have some core foundation plays like Fox, Harrison Barnes, Corey Joseph, if you want that value there. But look, I'm very high on Jeremy Grant. I'm very high on Dennis Smith and Saban Lee. I think those two are battling it out for guard position on this team. I think one of them is going to get cut eventually. And so, you got to like that competition there. So very high on those two guys. I'm not playing Wayne Ellington. I'm not playing some of these other peripheral pieces. I will say the one guy I have a little bit of interest in, and it could change now with the Raptors news and depending on what other news that we get. But Isaiah Stewart, 3.1K. He doesn't play a ton, but when he gets in there, he's athletic. He's all over. He gets steals, blocks, and 3.1K. It feels like a matchup to where he could get 3 or 4 blocks, a couple steals, some putbacks, and so I mean maybe if you're multi-entering, you could get behind him.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a very low in play. Not many people will be on him. Hey, guys, if you're not a member, Run Pure Sports, now's the time to get over there. Workbench 21 gets you 25% off your first payment at Run Pure Sports. It's an all-inclusive price. One price gets you absolutely everything on the site, our playbook, our core plays, our tiers, our ranking system, our projections, everything on the site. One price. We don't charge you per sport. We don't, we're not going to knock on your door when baseball comes and say, you owe us $350. Football comes, you owe us another $450. NASCAR. Some sites are charging $500 for NASCAR content. We got the best NASCAR team in the industry, and it's all under our one price. So head on over to Run Pure Sports, Workbench 21 for 25% off your first payment at the site. All right, Jazz, Heat, 219 total. Jazz favored by 6.5, and we've been pretty right on the Jazz all season long here on this show. I mean, when they're at full strength, it's a good team to avoid in DFS. I'm going to continue doing that. There's nothing that really stands out to me. Gobert has a cheapish price tag on DK at 7.2K. Bogdanovich 5K. I'm just not playing these guys, and especially in this matchup. I mean, this matchup here just screams fade to me. On the Heat side, Bam is questionable. Now, if he were to miss, Olynyk, I think, would be the guy that would get the biggest boost. But I'm not paying the premium for Jimmy Butler in this spot. Nunn's been playing well, not going there. What's the status of Tyler Hero for tonight? Is he still questionable? Is he in? he's questionable too. So we got to see on that. But as it stands now, like I'm going to be fading this game. I don't have much interest. We have a 9-game slate. We just talked about one that's really appealing. We got another one coming up that I think is really appealing. AP, am I missing anything here? Do you have any interest in this Jazz Heat game?
No, I really don't. I mean, I do think it stays close, but both teams are somewhat healthy. Like what we were talking about on the bet show today is for the Heat to keep this close, you're going to need Kelly Olynyk to hit some shots from the perimeter. They're better values on this play, but if you want like a 1% owned play that is very fringe, like not a great play at all, that is very game script dependent, like Kelly Olynyk, if he's stretching, Utah out a little bit and hitting some shots, maybe could be a play. But Dragic is also going to have to play big. I wouldn't be surprised if those guys maybe hit value, but gosh, I can't play them over guys in the Kings Pistons game, or over the Raptors guys, or over some of the plays that we still have later in the slate. So I'm off of it and feel very confident and comfortable with that.
Any different take, Big T?
No, I mean, I've pretty much faded Utah the whole year, kind of how we have. There's one thing that our boy Pentak in the chat that shipped 200K the other night. He keeps playing Donovan Mitchell, and Donovan Mitchell keeps crushing. And the crazy part is, so the other night he needed him to come back in up like 25 late in the fourth, when at the same time, what's my man from the Lakers name? Frickin' Dudley. Jared Dudley was checking in at the scorer's table. Lakers were clearly putting the scrubs in, giving up, waving the towel. And Mitchell still came in the game and put up a bunch of points. So there is a loophole. Like some of these blowouts, which I'm not saying tonight's going to be a blowout because I think Miami can play them close. But if there's ever like a spread where they're just a big favorite, I think you can play these guys because they keep getting blowout run, even the studs. But that's not in reference to tonight at all. Tonight, it looks like an easy fade to me. Miami's a good defensive team. Utah's a solid team. Good games all over the slate. These are the games I just don't play. I mean, yeah, Jimmy Butler could get there. These guys could get there, but, I mean, he's 9,400. You don't need to do that. There's so many good plays on this slate. You're making it too hard on yourself, I think, going that route, and I'm just going to fade this game.
Yeah, and it's kind of been our approach for most of the season, and it's worked out well. So I just don't see a reason to really go ahead and change things at this point. Next game, Hawks, Thunder, 228 total. Atlanta favored by 5. On the Atlanta side, Cam Reddish is doubtful for this game, likely to miss. Boost for Herder, Clint Capella's rating pretty well, 7.8 on DK, 8.2 on FanDuel. Tony Snell, JT's boy. What did he end up doing the other night, Tony? We said if Snell
I never
crushed.
Looked though. We should look at.
Oh, he got 20. He's got 26 and a half.
Again?
He's been so good.
He's 3.4K, man. JT, if you're listening, we told him that we had to bring him back. Did you see he had the little portrait of him over his shoulder?
No, that was the same game.
Are you sure?
That was 2 days. That was the game he was talking about.
He didn't play. I thought they had another game. Yeah, it was 2. What day did we do the show together? Oh, was that yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Boston.
I ruined that thing.
Same point is still valid, though. He had 2 straight good games. I mean, he's got.
I thought they were on the slate yesterday. No, all right. Don't listen to me. That was stupid on my part.
I was like, no way he went off again.
Oh, I thought. Why did I think he played last
Probably
night?
because we talked about him the whole show.
Yeah, he was the main photo. He was like the most talked about guy in the show.
He had a picture of him on his wall.
Yeah. It was so good. On the Thunder side, no Al Horford. So a boost, obviously, for a guy like Roby, who will be pretty popular on the slate. Baisley, Lou Dort in play. More so on FanDuel, where you got to play the 2 shooting guards. He's 4.4K over there. Maladone continues to play heavy minutes. Gilgeous-Alexander, still cheap price tag on FanDuel at 8K. He'll be pretty damn popular on that site. But, we definitely have some plays in this game. I think ownership will be up. I mean, these are guys that are definitely going to have some ownership, especially on the Thunder side. Go to you first, Big T. What are your thoughts on this Hawks-Thunder game?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting spot because whenever OKC is down Horford, it kind of brings some of these other guys like Roby into play. Even Muscala's been in play, Kenrich Williams at times. But, man, I don't know. Like, this is one of those games where I look at the ownership. Tons of guys are, like, popping. Like, Shea is popping, and Roby's going to pop. And a lot of these guys pop, and I just don't like this game. I mean, sometimes I just get a bad feeling about these chalky games. Like, I can't believe the ownership that this game is carrying. And I don't really think it deserves it. Like, I like the Kings game way more than this game. And the Kings ownership, besides Fox, looks lower than these guys. I don't know. Like, I think these are good plays. It's another example of I think these are fine. They're going to be chalky for a reason. Lots of people are going to play Shea. Lots of people are going to play Roby. Baisley's cheap. Dort's cheap. Maladone's cheap. I mean, these guys are cheap, so I get it against Atlanta. I just don't like it. Like, I don't know. Like, it reminds me of the Dallas spot a little bit earlier in the week where they were all chalky. And I think these guys all get you like 20, but I think they play a bunch of guys. Ty Jerome, I think, is back with the team. I think they could get him some minutes. I don't know. I mean, this is kind of where my tournament approach takes over, and I just think I'm going to fade this game, even though a lot of people are going to play a bunch of plays in this thing.
Yeah, and I do think, a lot of these guys are popping. Like, a lot, if you look at projections, a lot of them are popping in projection models. I don't see a route where, like, all these guys get there. I mean, these are guys that have high bust potential. Like,
every one of them, right?
Yeah,
even Shea has a bust potential. There's Pats.
Yeah. No, I like your take there. And these are guys that, I think people are getting more and more comfortable playing. And I don't think you necessarily should be, because, like I said, the bust potential for basically all these guys is pretty damn high. AP, what's your interest level here?
Yeah, I mean, so like, due to injuries and everything, this game's going to get a ton of ownership. I don't like Roby. He's projected to be between 20-25% owned. I definitely do not like him as a play today. I think he has a brutal matchup against Capella. So like, he's a guy I want to play. I didn't even want to put him in our value section in the playbook, but like, you almost have to, because he's going to get the minutes. Like, he's a play, like he should get you 20.
These are where I don't get, though. Like, maybe you guys can help me. Like, these are where I don't understand projections. Like, he's 48, 46 and 4,900. He hasn't scored over 30 ever, like, in a long, long time. 9 straight games he hasn't got over 30. He's been under 20 like 4 or 5. I know Horford was in some of these games, but he wasn't in a few of these too. And he's projected for 28 fantasy points. Like, I don't get that. Like, why is that, AP?
I mean, I have no idea, because, it's based off, I mean, they're projecting his minutes with Horford out, and then they're projecting what he's done in the past. But he's struggled in these matchups. I mean, he did nothing against Miami. Like, he really struggled against them. Capella's going to eat him. Capella, he's projected to be right around 10% owned. He's my favorite play in this game. I don't think anyone's on the OKC side is going to be able to stop him. And you're going to have your box score guys that are looking at Capella, and they're like, man, coming off a 27-point game against Boston, I'm not going to play him. 39 against Cleveland, 38 against the Nuggets. Look, that Boston game, like, they were on a 3-4, and they're on the back end of a back-to-back. They didn't need to play, and they were blowing Boston out. They didn't need to give Capella extra run in that game. He's rested. He gets a matchup against Isaiah Roby. He is going to absolutely dominate this team. And, like, they don't want to give John Collins big minutes. Capella is going to be the big that I don't think the Thunder are going to be able to stop at all. And he might be like my we don't know what the name is yet, but he's definitely up there for whatever it is that we're going to call my play of the day. So
we got a couple options. I've been monitoring chat. We got a couple options. The reason for the projection on Roby, I think, is these sites just don't want to get caught, because he's had some big performances this season, especially when Horford's out, but he's also had some bad performances. I think it's just a hard situation to project, but kind of lean with you guys. I think there's potentially a lot more downside than upside with the Roby call, and the price is better on FanDuel. I mean, he's 4.6 on FanDuel versus the, what is it, 4.9 on DK. It doesn't seem like a big difference, pretty big difference, especially when you have to play the two power forwards on FanDuel. So definitely like them more on FanDuel opposed to DraftKings. I think it's just a preventative number that they kind of tagged them with.
These are always the plays to me, like where, like, say Roby was 3,900 for a reason, for some reason. Like, I think he's a total lock and you just lock him in. But when he goes up to 5K, 4,900, like, you need him to get you in the 30s. And his bust potential to not get in the 30s is very, very high.
But still, like, he doesn't kill you if he gets in the 30s. To kill
Low
you,
30s,
you
he
need
doesn't
like
kill you at
40
all.
plus.
Exactly.
Yeah, so like that's the other thing is when you're playing these guys in the upper 4K range, 5K range, you got to understand they need mid 30s to crush you, in my opinion. That's why, man, I like these cheapie guys, because it's tougher for them to really kill you.
Exactly.
No, I'm with you. All right, we still have the partnership going with Monkey Knife Fight. You head on over to Monkey Knife Fight, use promo code RUNPURE at checkout. You get a $50 match on your deposit in our Discord. We have a Monkey Knife Fight channel dedicated to picks and plays for every sport. So head on over to Monkey Knife Fight. Use that promo code RUNPURE. We announced the new partnership that we have yesterday, and we got some good feedback in the chat, the jbtools.com partnership. You head on over to jbtools.com, use promo code RUNPURE10. You get $10 off any purchase over $100. All your tool needs. They got DeWalt, Makita, Milwaukee power drills. We got spray guns. We got wrenches. We have hammers. We have screwdrivers, nuts, bolts, electrical stuff, whatever you need. jbtools.com. That promo code is RUNPURE10. Gets you 10% off any purchase above $100. So head on over there, check it out. Got 4 more games. Let me just check in on the. Oh gosh. Not going to like what you see, Big T. I'll tell you that much, especially on a Friday. I mean, let's just go out with a bang on a Friday for once. Just like explode this thing, get it to the moon. I'm not going to say anything. Not going to say it, but just make it happen for us. Got the Suns. We got the Bulls, 226 total. Suns favored by 6.5 in this game. And Suns are another one of those teams. I mean, they're in that category that we've kind of talked about all season long where we need injuries really to consider them. It is a good matchup here against the Bulls. So maybe in tournaments we can look there. I mean, Chris Paul's had some big games. I know Big T, you're down on Ayton overall this season. The price is down though. Maybe take a look at him. I don't think I can go there actually today. The center once again is pretty loaded. On the Bulls side, Wendell Carter Jr. back-to-back really big games. The price tag has not come up all that much, but it's a tough spot here. Against the Bulls. One price point play I think that stands out, Kobe White at 5.7K on FanDuel. I think he's a fine option over there. Not a building block, more of a last guy in type play. We'll go to you first, AP. Any interest here in this Suns Bulls game?
I mean, okay, so like we were just talking about Roby. I would much rather play a guy like Jay Crowder coming off the bench who gets he doesn't see a ton of minutes, but he's got all the usage off the bench. He's going to take a ton of shots, and man, he's been crazy efficient, and he's shown upside. If you go back and look, I mean, he's got a 35, 34, 31, 34. Like this guy has a ton of recent upside, and Dario Saric is questionable. If Saric misses, he's had a really nice rotation in there, and when Saric is in there, he's taking a ton of shots. He's been kind of a value play that I've leaned on recently. Those are going to go to Crowder. So I have interest in Jay Crowder. I'm not playing Ayton. I feel like, I mean, man, I was hoping he'd be popular because we love to play bigs against this Bulls team, but it looks like ownership projections are lower on Ayton, and rightfully so because he's kind of sucked. I was hoping that he was going to be a popular play today just because I thought he'd make for a nice fade. But outside of that, I don't think I'm going to play like Chris Paul has upside. I think I would much rather play Kyle Lowry or some of these other guards, De'Aaron Fox, than Chris Paul. But, if you want some leverage and if you want a low-end play, I wouldn't blame anyone for playing him. He's shown a ton of upside. I can't get on Devin Booker. He just hasn't done it for me. And then on the Bulls side, we were talking on the bet show, our guy Spread, he likes the Bulls to cover tonight. And I I don't see it. I mean, I could see them covering the spread, but like I'm not playing Zach LaVine because I've learned my lesson. Playing some of these elite guards against the Suns and specifically Mikal Bridges is just an absolute disaster. That dude is a really good defender. I mean, he just took it to Dame. Dame had like nothing. They gave Dame 0 shots beyond the arc. He had to get everything in the paint, and then they just clogged up the paint. And so Dame was a huge bust. I think they're going to be able to do something similar to LaVine. It'll be interesting, though. LaVine is a little bit bigger, and he's been very difficult to guard. So if you want a really, really low in tournament play, maybe. I'm definitely not getting there, though.
Yeah, the price is way up there too. I mean, 9.6 closing in on 10K over there at DK. I mean, Big T, you've been off the Suns for the most part. It is a good matchup here with the Bulls. Are you looking to them at all, or maybe some low-owned Bulls in your lineups tonight?
Yeah, Phoenix is one of those teams that I just haven't really picked on. They're pretty solid. I mean, obviously Chris Paul's a good defender. They got good defenders all around. Crowder, Bridges, Booker's not a horrible defender. Aiden's a pretty good defender. They're just good on defense, and I don't like to pick on them. The Bulls are a matchup that we like to play guys like Aiden. Man, he's just been so bad, but man, if you guaranteed me Ayton was going to be like 2% owned, like the projections look like he is, I might jump back on after I made fun of. It's just that's the difference to me. Like if a guy is somewhat popular at a cheap price in a bad matchup, I think that's completely different than unowned in a good matchup today. That's just I try to pride myself on not getting stubborn with plays. And even though I don't like Ayton, it is a really good spot today for him. So I'm not ruling him out. I'm not giving him a complete X button today because if he's going to be low owned, then I might be able to make it happen, although center is loaded like it always is. But for me, this game looks like pretty much a fade besides Ayton.
I think you're going to get Ayton at low ownership on DK. On FanDuel, I think it'll be a little bit higher because the price is lower and, people have been playing him over there. So on DK, I think you're getting definitely some low ownership. We got a run back game next. The Clippers, Grizzlies. It went last night. Grizzlies actually blew them out. We all agreed yesterday that this game was a fade. I'm not changing tonight. I think it's still a fade. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the opposite way. Clippers blow them out, but Clippers are, a very tough team. When Paul George, Kawhi Leonard are both in there, very tough for DFS purposes because you do have to pay that premium to get them in your lineups. The one guy that we kind of mentioned last night, Ja Morant, didn't get there, didn't need to. The game was a blowout. There is, I guess, the one thing we do have to watch out for Valanciunas, who is questionable. And if he were to miss, guys like Clark would get a boost. Guys like Tillman Sr. would get a boost. I guess that's the main focus for me in this game would be Valanciunas and whether or not he plays. Big T, is this a piece of news that you'll be monitoring, or do you really just don't give a crap what happens with Valanciunas here?
I think Memphis is literally the number one team for me as far as just fading. Like, yeah. I never play these dudes from Memphis. I don't think they're good. Ja, and I gave the same speech every day, but Ja's always in play and Joval's always in play, but they never check out ahead of other guys for me. And I'm always like I always say, a 1 or 2, 3 lineup guy. They just don't make the cut over other people for me. So I end up fading. If he's out, I mean, you can look at a guy like Xavier Tillman for cheap, guys like that. But, man, they got a lot of bodies. I mean, you look at it, Dylan Brooks, I think, supposed to be back tonight, right?
Dylan Brooks is officially – I don't think he's even on the injury report.
He's back.
Yeah, I mean, so you got – they're just back close to full strength. And, I mean, this game's a fade for me. And the Clippers are a team I like to fade too. So it just I like when the teams I like to fade play each other. Mm-hmm. I can just totally write the game off. I don't even have to.
100% where I'm at as well. AP, any interest for you in this one?
So Joval was downgraded to questionable. I mean, if he missed, like Xavier Tillman as a value, I already think we have a bunch of good value. But even if Joval misses, they got Brandon Clark, they got Xavier Tillman, they even got, Gorgie Jang. Like, they got a ton of guys that they can give minutes. Yeah. So, even if he misses, I don't think there's anyone that we have to really force in or go to. I wouldn't hate Xavier Tillman, though. On the Clippers side, yeah, pretty easy fade. I will say, like, Zubac is definitely outplaying Serge Ibaka. If you want a 0.1% owned play that does have like 30-point upside, and I would like him more if like Joval is in, because they're going to need size to match up with them, because Joval just absolutely destroyed them in the paint last night. You could look at Zubac. I don't know if you need to go there on the slate. Like, if you're running a ton of builds, I would definitely have them, in your player pool. But outside of that, I think it's a pretty easy game to fade tonight.
Yeah, I agree. The last two games are very, very interesting. We have the Hornets, we have the Warriors, a big 233.5 total. Golden State favored by 6.5, and we have some news on the Hornet side. Continue to be without Caleb Martin, but more importantly, no Devontae Graham, no Cody Zeller either, which makes them a pretty thin team here. I mean, they're going to run a tight rotation. Their guys are going to get quite a bit of minutes here. Most of them better price tags on FanDuel opposed to DK. LaMelo Ball 7.6 on FanDuel, 8.7 on DK. Rozier 8.4 on DK, 7K on FanDuel. The one exception is Gordon Hayward, who is 6.7K on DK and 7.1K on FanDuel. He's going to be, I think, a very popular play. PJ Washington, another guy that's going to get ownership tonight without Cody Zeller in the lineup. 5.4 on DK, 5.6 on FanDuel, and then Biyombo should draw the start here. 3.3 on DK, 3.5K on FanDuel. Really opens up your lineups, allows you to do a lot of creative things. On the Warriors side, definitely not going to be as highly owned, despite coming in with what might be the highest team total on the slate. So it's an interesting situation for tournaments, I think, because these Hornets guys are going to be very, very popular. And no one's really going to play the Warriors on the other side, I don't think. I could be wrong. I mean, you guys are the tournament guys, so maybe you can analyze that a little bit better. But I know we're going to get the big ownership on the Hornet side, not so much on the Warriors side. This is a definitely appealing game if it stays close. All these guys should play a lot of minutes. Go to you first, AP. What's your interest level here?
I mean, do you guys think like Biyombo is going to be popular on the slate?
I think so.
I mean, all right. So like, this dude has to get blocks and steals to get there. Like, how are you going to get blocks when Steph Curry is just, taking 23-point shots? I mean, maybe he gets some boards, but I think Biyombo, I mean, yeah, maybe in cash. I just think he's probably a pretty good fade tonight. The other thing is the Hornets like to go small. The Warriors like to go small. That's just another risk too. So I hope he's popular. I feel pretty good fading him. I have a ton of it. Like, no one's going to play LaMelo Ball. Like, look, if you're looking at the box score games of this first matchup, Steph Curry did not play in that game. He changes everything. There's going to be a much faster pace. There's going to be a much greater emphasis on scoring and the three-point shot and keeping up. And so we're going to see a much faster pace. And man, a guy like Ball could crush. I'm not playing Rozier. Gordon Hayward has been very frustrating. I think he's going to be a very popular play tonight, rightfully so. He's going to get all the minutes that he can handle. But the way to get different here is to look at someone like LaMelo Ball, maybe Miles Bridges off the bench, who's been pretty frustrated, but he's only 4.5K on DraftKings. Like, I would much rather play Bridges over like someone like Biyombo. And then there's Malik Monk. He's a guy that won me some nice money not too long ago. I mean, I don't know if I can pay 5.2K for him. I mean, when I played him, it was a little bit different. I mean, I think he was sub 4K. So 5.2K, he needs mid-30s to really crush you. So I think you can fade him. I have a ton of interest in Steph Curry, 9.7K. The Hornets are very bad at guarding the perimeter. I think Curry's going to have a ton of free looks tonight. And then, Draymond. Actually, I don't play him very much. The other night, Tony had him in his core. I was working on my last build, and I saw Tony put him in there on his core, and I snuck him in. He's the reason I cashed in one of my builds, and he looked really good. And he's been better when Steph has played. His assist rate goes up. He's much more active on offense, and yeah. So I really have interest in Curry, Draymond, and then I'm probably fading all the other pieces on the Warriors side.
Yeah, it should be a very good game. And I like the Draymond call. I mean, Draymond has been kind of overlooked most of the season from a fantasy perspective. and the upside is massive. Like when Steph's hitting shots, you know, he's usually assisting, and his numbers across the board are looking really good when this offense is rolling. Big T, are you going to be on these Hornets guys that should come in with some pretty substantial ownership? And then anything for you on the Warriors side?
Yeah, just to start out, we need to get to this 450 likes.
Oh, no. Let me. I
got something to say about it though. I'm
going to intervene because it's no longer. I'm very disappointed because the numbers are high. It's no longer.
You got to hear what I'm going to say though, because it's going to lead into what you're going to say. Okay. So for the first time ever, I'm going to side with the chat because we had like 3 or 4 members in there. They finally gave a reason to not click the like button, and I agree with it. They said they're members, they pay good money for the winners, and they don't want the freeloaders to get it, so that's why they're not clicking the lock button on us. They're already, and I can't disagree with it because they're members. I mean, it is what it is.
There was some collusion. I saw the collusion conversation in the chat. I see it. Yeah, I mean, that could be the case.
That's sharp. I mean, we teach people to be sharp. Keep the winners to yourself if you're already a member.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, how do we combat that though? You know,
they got to become a member to get it. If they're to combat it, either the non-members got to click the like button and get us there.
Yeah.
Or they could just support the mojo and still click the like button.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
I can't disagree though when they said they want to keep the winners to themselves for the being an actual member already.
Yeah, it's just one play. I mean, our core plays consist of what? I mean, you guys are given what, 6 plays, right? So this is just one play. So people that are members, it's only one play. They're getting 1/8 of they're getting 12% of what you get. So it's nothing too substantial.
And it brings the mojo up. When we hit the 450, it's good mojo all around. We get in there, we have more karma going on our side when we put those plays up there.
And the bigger we grow, I don't see any other sites doing what we're doing. The ticket giveaways and stuff. We said we're going to continue to do that. So the more we grow, the more we get that sort of thing going. So the likes are good. I guess I was going to come in and I was going to be an asshole and say that I had to get to 500, but I guess we'll just leave it at, we'll leave it at 500.
We're going to get to 500 anyways. The people are going to take care of us.
Yeah. Just let's make it happen. Good mojo on a Friday, lead us into a strong weekend. So just let's make it happen.
And someone just said it too, the gear. They click the likes to get the gear. We give the gear. Yeah. We don't just give it to anyone. Got to click the like button to get the gear, and the gear is going out. The box is literally sitting by the door to go to FedEx before the slate tonight. I'll head out after the show before lock, get it over to the FedEx office.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. I mean, you've got an hour, 22 minutes, or hour and 12 minutes. So really, we're on a time crunch here to get Big T to FedEx. And I told you, he's literally has a cubicle at FedEx. He drops the boxes off, slides right on over with his laptop, and locks in the winners. I mean, where do you think the heater happened? Heater happened at FedEx.
Teams were made from FedEx.
It's all good mojo. I mean, come on, folks. All right. Warriors, Hornets. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, so Draymond, like literally, I've said this forever, but if I had to start a team, not talking DFS, like Draymond, I want him on my team. I want some studs around him. I want him to be my 5th best guy. But the dude is a freaking winner, and he knows how to play. He knows how to compete. He knows how to defend. He does everything you could want, and he stuffs the stat column. If you know he's going to be motivated, he's just the man. I mean, he just crushes like he did the other night. What did he go for? He went for 47 for us. And the best part about him is he does it all without ever scoring. Like, he never scores points. He could get you a 50 ball without scoring double-digit points. There's how many guys in the league could say that? Like, less than 10 probably could get you a 50.
Well, the other guy on the other side has that potential, I think, too. Like LaMelo, I think has that potential. Where he, and there's not many though. There's really not many that you could say that about.
I love the LaMelo call too from AP. He's one of the funnest players. Golden State passed him in the draft to draft whatever the scrub. What's the scrub dude's name? Wiseman. Like, freaking Wiseman is not going to be better than LaMelo Ball. That tilts LaMelo Ball. It's a guard league. I can't believe they did that. But LaMelo, great play tonight. I think if they stay in this game, it's going to be because of LaMelo. And like always, in tournaments, like if you think this game stays close, you're going to need multiple pieces. And it starts with LaMelo. I mean, man, Gordon Hayward's price. This is another one of those things where he's been so bad that his price keeps going down. At what point do I click the button is the question, because I've been good with staying off of him for the most part, as he's just totally struggled. Tonight he's got a pretty tough matchup too, I would say, against all these wings. Wiggins and Oubre and Draymond, all pretty good wing defenders. I think it's a tough spot for Gordon Hayward, and the price is going to make people play him. I mean, he's got to be one of the more popular plays at that price.
Yeah, and he actually hasn't been all that bad in terms of production. I mean, it's 35 fantasy points, 37. So in terms of what his price tag is now, he's been there. So I think
that's just where we look at prices difference. Like that's a perfect example of how you look at it and how I look. Like that's why I suck in cash. I say this all the time, even though I freaking own title. I own Mangone, sent them both back down to the minor leagues where they belong. I still admit that I'm not a cash player for a reason. I look at Gordon Hayward at 6,700 and 7,100 on the two sites. I see 37, 34, 27, 31, 22, 31, 39. I see no games in the 40s. That doesn't even remotely scare me to fade because he needs to get in the 40s to really hurt me. And I think I've got better at this because of JSU and AP and these other tournament players getting on me. You need upside. I mean, not 57X like our boy Crane used to say, but if a dude is 6,700, he's got to get in the 40s to really hurt me. And Hayward just hasn't done it. So I don't know. I'm not super high on him. Big T is wrong on the Wiseman thought. Sylvester said Wiseman might be fine, but my point wasn't that he's not going to be fine. It's that LaMelo is better than him. That was the only point to that. And LaMelo is a perfect fit on the Golden State. Like he fits into what they do. So yeah,
he would be ideal for them.
Very
right
good fit.
Like a distributor. Like that's what they need.
Yeah,
you know.
And even if Clay was healthy, he still fits great with them. He can pass to both of them. Draymond setting screens. I don't understand it, but yeah, this game's great. I mean, there's a bunch of pieces. If this game stays close, a ton of these plays are going to be in the winner. I don't like the Bismack play. I agree with AP. The game looks to me like it'll go small with PJ Washington as the 5, Jalen McDaniels as a big in the game. I like Jalen McDaniels as a pivot off Bismack if Bismack is popular. I think the game goes small with the way Golden State it plays, and I'm not convinced it stays close though too. So if it stays close, jam them in. If you don't think it stays close, it's probably a fade for the most part.
Yeah. Final game on the slate: Trailblazers, Lakers, 222.5 total. Lakers favored by 5. They get Dennis Schroeder back. Like he hasn't played. It's been about a week and a half. He's back. Obviously, no AD. They've looked bad. They obviously need some help. I think this is the help they kind of need. And prior to, I think he was in the health protocol thing. Prior to him being out, Schroeder was playing good and in solid basketball. So I think him coming back definitely improves the Lakers' outlook. LeBron James in a good spot here without Anthony Davis. They started Markieff Morris last game. Interested to see what they do here. The problem is if you're waiting on that news, you only have 2 options in terms of games. You just have that Hornets-Warriors game. You have the Blazers-Lakers game at 10 Eastern. All other games are 2 hours before this, like 2 hours before that. So if you're waiting on news for any of these last 2 games, you could really jam yourself up. But if Morris does start 3.1K, I think he's definitely in the conversation, makes building lineups a hell of a lot easier. On the Trailblazer side, Damian Lillard, obviously a phenomenal play at 10-1. Not really seeing his ownership all that high. So he could be lower owned. And if this game stays close, definitely capable of having a big game. Enes Kanter, I think, is a strong place. But probably better on FanDuel, 6'3", but 6'8" on DK. I don't hate that either. Big T, give me your thoughts here on this one.
Yeah, Dame and LeBron are kind of where it starts. This game, the Lakers have looked bad. This game should stay close, I would assume. I mean, the way the Lakers have played, you just don't know. I can't imagine the Lakers are going to blow out Portland, though. Even with Schroeder back, they remind me a little bit of the bubble before the playoffs where they were going through the motions. Everyone, including myself, was ready to just say, this team's done. Like they don't have what it takes to get the job done. But then all of a sudden, like always, they start to get healthy and LeBron put it together and they win a title. They're at that point right now where the All-Star break is in a couple weeks. And I just don't see them really caring all that much. So I don't like the Lakers side, but I do like the Portland side because of how bad the Lakers have looked. You can get Dame pretty low owned against a Lakers team that he should be able to just destroy. I mean, the Lakers can't defend a guy like Dame. You got Cantor, who we don't like the Lakers matchup, but they don't have AD anymore. So I think he can do good. Gary Trent is always in play. Melo against LeBron. Melo looked really good the other night. I don't know. I think Dame is a very, very good play tonight, though. And so the dude in the chat, why is LeBron's price what it is? What should LeBron's price be? I don't.
Yeah,
What
he's
am I
what
missing?
10-4 on FanDuel, 10-7. I mean,
What
it's
should
kind
it
of where
be?
he's been. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, should it be 12K? Like he's not trying right now. He doesn't care right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gone for only one game at 60 plus in the last 10 games. I don't know what his price should be, but I'm definitely lower on the Lakers than probably anyone. I think Portland probably beats them tonight, and yeah, Dame and LeBron would be the two for me.
Yeah. AP, quick thoughts here on this Lakers Blazers game.
Yeah, I mean, I took it a little bit further and I looked at LeBron's numbers over the past 2 years just with AD out. And if you look at that time span, his numbers look good. If you look at over the last month, they're not good. He's dropped off in his assist rate, rebound rate, and points scored. You know, he was scoring 30 points per 36 minutes over the last 2 years with AD out. He's barely scoring 25 in the same scenario. So there's been a huge drop off. Whether like Tony's right and it is just he doesn't care, or it's he might be tired. Look, the guy's getting older. He's playing like he hasn't rested in any game, and he's playing 36, 37 minutes a game. We all get tired. I know like he's a freak, an absolute freak, but man, we all get tired. So I think it's very concerning. The other thing too is you know, we've been talking about it all afternoon. What does he need to absolutely kill you? At almost 11K, he needs, you know, maybe 65 plus to absolutely kill you, maybe 70. Like, you got to think the game against the Wizards, where I think it went to OT, or he played 43 minutes and he put up 62. Like, even at this price on this slate tonight with all the elite plays that we have, I don't think that kills you. So I don't think he's like a must play. The other thing too is like, what you're going to see is these LeBron James lineups. They're going to have a Bismack Biyombo with it. So you know that's going to have a high correlation. If one of them busts, like those lineups are going to be absolutely dead, and it's a very easy way to get different. I do have interest in Dame Lillard, though. He's always played the Lakers tough. I don't like the Lakers do have good, like decent, you know, guard, like people that can guard, you know, combo guards like Dame Lillard, but I think he gets loose. So like, I think he would be the late game hammer that I would look at, or we just go the Hornets Warriors game. We go LaMelo, who's going to be way cheap or way less owned, and he's cheaper. You pair it with Steph Curry, and maybe you avoid the Blazers Lakers, which I think is going to be the more popular route to go tonight. So we definitely have two games where, man, we could see an absolute hammer to help win tournaments. I don't mind going the less chalky route, which might be LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, LaMelo, the price difference, like I said, between FanDuel and DraftKings is pretty significant. 7-6 on FanDuel, and then the 8-7 on DK. He's going to be really highly owned on FanDuel. He's going to be low owned on DraftKings because of the price tag difference. But a lot of good plays here on the slate. Definitely. What do you guys think about Schroeder, real quick? Because I kind of like him a little bit. I think he could have a pretty decent game here. Big T.
I just worry about these guys when they come off the health and safety where they haven't played. I mean, what's it been, 2 weeks or something?
2 weeks about, yeah.
I just thought it might not mean anything because some of them aren't actually sick. They're just under the protocol. I have bad mojo with like when they come back. I feel like they never hit that minute ceiling where I do like the spot though. So if you can convince yourself he's going to play minutes, then I do think he's a really good play. I just worry about it. And that price point isn't that expensive. So you don't have, I mean, I'm fine with it if you think he's good minutes wise.
Yeah, I mean, I think he will be. I mean, I guess he's not going to come out and play 35, 36 minutes. But in this matchup with them being without AD, I think he's interesting. Any interest there, AP?
I think he's interesting, but I don't know. He's right in that Kimba range, and I think there's now we got guys in the for the Kings that I think are just a little bit better. You can play Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes. I get the play for sure. I just, man, you need the perfect script for him to really, hit his upside. So I'll probably be off, but I definitely get the play.
All right, just a reminder, after us, we have JSU Holden taking you up to lock in the final countdown. That's part of our premium product over at Run Pure Sports. So head on over there, use that promo code Workbench21 if you're not already a member. It gets you 25% off your first payment at Run Pure Sports. All right, you guys got there. Just barely 472. We're going to honor it, but this is your warning. It's going up next week. We left it at 450 all week. Next week it's going up, and it's Big T's call. So he's going to determine the number for all next week. So it's 450 this week, definitely going up next week. You guys get the pass today. The winner of the gear is Mike. His name's Mike. He says, what do I get if I get Big T tatted on my forehead? Well, why don't you go ahead and do that, and we'll send you a piece of gear. We'll give you a piece of gear to go along with that tattoo. So get the gear, get the tattoo, and send us a picture right on your forehead. That'd be perfect. So you win the gear to go along with your tattoo.
I'm literally dying at this. This dude in Discord sent me this picture for AP's name, and it's just
the winner.
It's like from some site, I'm assuming, with sexual positions. And it says the corkscrew play of the day, and it's got a picture of what the corkscrew is. And I'm just, it's too good. I wish I could.
All right, well, there it is. Actually, that's a good segue into our next segment. That segment, the plays of the day, the AP corkscrew play of the day. Who do you got for us?
I wish I could post the picture to Simon so he could put it. What in the world is that?
So, okay, I gotta trust my gut on this one. Clint Capella. I think he's just gonna crush. I don't think he's gonna be very popular. He really never is. But man, he's got some big upside. I think he could get us like a 20-20 type game here. OKC has no one that can stop him. And I think he'll do it pretty quickly, pretty efficiently. I just think Trae Young and him are going to get going early, and he's going to rack up some blocks. And I think he's going to go for let's say 47 plus tonight.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I think it's a very strong play. The 4X play of the day, it's on absolute fire. I texted Big T last night. If you don't remember, the 4X play of the day last night was Jamal Murray, and he was going off, and I texted Big T just to let him know that it was on a heater, and of course, no response, but that's okay. It's all right, we'll forgive him. But Jamal Murray just went off last night. Three nights in a row, the 4X play is just absolutely crushed. It was Jared Allen the night before. The day before that, it was Ja Morant when he went off. 3 days of just smash performances. So there's a lot of pressure building up on the 4X play of the day, and I feel good about this one too. Somewhat risky because this guy runs hot and cold, but should benefit from this injury situation, and it's on the Sacramento Kings. It's going to be our boy Buddy Hield, 5'8" on both sites, streaky player. The results have been all over the map. Hopefully he keeps his ownership down a little bit, but man, he's going to be chucking in this game. And if he gets hot, I think he could absolutely go off. So Buddy Hield is the official 4X play of the day. All right. Now the last play is our boy Big T with the workbench play of the day.
Yeah. So I was gonna take this a little bit different direction today, because I got a true workbench play that I didn't talk about, that I'm probably not going to play on my main team though. I give this whatever you want to call it, disclaimer that is more of a big field tournament play. I'm definitely going to play him though a little bit, but just for the normal workbench, good say, I got to go with my boy Saben Lee. I mean, we argued about it. I think he's a lock at 4,300. I don't think he's going to be high owned against Sacramento, and I think he's going to crush again. But just because it's Friday and the people, I liked what the chat did all week. We're going to probably end up over 500 here by the end of this. Hopefully, if people click that like button a little bit more. And I got a low-owned guy that we didn't talk about that, man, he's a lot of risk, a true workbench play, under 1% owned, I'm sure. He's in the late game. Literally no one's going to play him. Maybe you fall into – I've given this disclaimer a few times. Maybe you fall into some blowout run if something happens even. But Anthony Simons at 3,400 for Portland against this Lakers team, he's been like lingering around 14, 15 fantasy points. Nothing crazy, but he's 3,400 on a slate where I hate a bunch of value guys. If you get lucky and he somehow gets hot or catches some blowout run or a lot of different things, you're going to love having him in that late game against this Lakers team that's looked really bad. So I think he's a true workbench play. He might not end up on my main team, but I love him as the workbench play tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally a less than 1% or no one's going to be on him. So that's how you get to the workbench. You got to get to the top of those GPPs, and there's plays like that could definitely propel you. So this is going to wrap up.
One disclaimer too, just because so say you get off to a little bit of a rough start, you need to somehow catch up. I think that's like a pivot you can make. Like say you had whoever the chalky cheap guy is, Bismack or whoever in the late game. Just pivot over to Anthony Simons, and just if you need to catch up somehow, or you're in a head-to-head, the guy's got you blocked where he's got some cheap guy that you can't pass. Play Anthony Simons over him. See if it'll jump you above him.
Love it. Absolutely love it. It's going to wrap up a solid week here on the show. We'll be back on Monday with more winners, but everyone have a good weekend. Good luck to everyone if you're playing this weekend, and obviously good luck tonight. So for AP, for Big T, I'm Hoop. Good luck to everyone tonight in your contest. We're out of here.